Go ahead.
Question for Ilya. Do you think the extra 10 pounds are going to help you in this fight?
He low-key look like me, though.
You guys like that? My head's not moving. Everything else moving. UFC 317. International Fight Week. Ilya Topuria versus Charles Oliveira is happening this weekend. And in pay-per-view standards, this card's not too bad, honestly. I can say confidently that I know every single fighter on this card except the first fight. You know, I got Hyder Meal, Jose Delgado, Jack Hermanson, Gregory Rodriguez. You know, you got the women's fight too. Tracy Cortez versus Vivian Araujo. You know, Terrence McKinney, Borshchev. You got a lot of fighters here. I know probably everybody's on the card except the first fight, but I mainly want to talk about this main card. I'll give you my prediction for the whole main card. I'm not going to break down every single fight too much, except the main event. So I believe the opener for the main card is Peyton Tablet versus Felipe Lima. This fight was actually made probably like 3 weeks ago on a little bit short notice, honestly. I'm surprised they both took the fight. It's a good spotlight though. International Fight Week we got, and you're fighting under Ilya Topuria's card. I seen Ilya Topuria gain like 1 million followers in like one day, I believe. I seen this earlier on Instagram that he gained 1 million, like almost, I think 800K followers in one day, which is kind of crazy. If they're not bots, then this guy might be a superstar if he wins against Charles Oliveira, which I'll tell you who I think wins. Peyton Tablet versus Felipe Lima though. I'm picking Felipe Lima just because he's more well-rounded, and Peyton Tablet just got fraud checked by Honey Barcelos, who didn't look the best against his most recent fight, like Cody Garbrandt, and he dominated Peyton Tablet. So I don't see Peyton Tablet winning this fight. Next fight up on the card, what is it? You got Brandon Royval versus Joshua Van. This is a tricky fight, man. This is a tricky fight because Joshua Van, he just fought on the last card. He just fought on 3/16, and he's gonna fight on this pay-per-view. He's one of the few fighters that have fought on the pay-per-view back-to-back. So he's joining a special club. We fuck with you, Joshua Van. You give us good fights, and you're active. So I'm a Joshua Van fan. Good combo. But I'm a fan of you, man, but I don't know. I think this might be too soon because I'm picking Brandon Royval. Brandon Royval has fraud checked a bunch of guys. Tatsuro Teiro, he actually fraud checked. And man, he's just really tall. He's like, what is he, like 5'10" for the flyweight division? I don't know. I don't think he's 5'10", probably 5'9", when Joshua Van's like what, 5'3", 5'4". It's sad, man, because Joshua Van's a small guy for the smallest weight class. So there's not much. You can't really go anywhere if he wants to take this professional career seriously. You can't be an atom weight. You can't be a straw weight because there's no straw weight or atom weight in the UFC males division, which kind of sucks. But Joshua Van's only loss was against Charles Johnson. I think that's his only loss, or it might be 10-2. Either way, he lost to Charles Johnson in the UFC, and that wasn't like a short notice fight or anything. It was a planned out fight, and it was just mainly because this guy's just smaller, and he has a really short reach too. He's like a T-Rex, man. You got a really short reach as well, which kind of sucks. So you're actually short for the division, and you also got tiny arms. So he couldn't get it on the inside against Charles Johnson, and Charles Johnson hit him with a mean uppercut that actually TKO'd him. Kind of sucks. He got TKO'd, and he actually came back probably like really quickly, like I don't know, like 3 months later. And then he's been active ever since. You know, he's fighting 2 back-to-back pay-per-view cards, but it's too much, man. Brandon Royval is #1 ranked, and Joshua Van just came off a win against Bruno Silva, not the middleweight one. There's 2 Bruno Silvas in the UFC, and people always mix it up with the middleweight one when they search up images of Bruno Silva. Just fucking stupid. Stop doing that shit. So yeah, I'm picking Brandon Royval to win. So I'm picking Felipe Lima, Brandon Royval so far, and then we got Renato Moicano versus Beneil Dariush, and I'm picking Renato Moicano. His last fight was against Islam. He got kind of embarrassed in the first round. He was pitter-pattering. He was hitting Islam with some leg kicks, and then he got blast double takedown. He got taken down by Islam, and then he got submitted shortly after in the first round, which is kind of embarrassing. He's been waiting for a title shot opportunity. It was on 1 day's notice, so you can't blame him. He's been on a roll since then. No, not since then, but before that, he was on a roll. He was like, what, on like a 4-fight win streak, 4 or 5 fight win streak. And I think he's going to win this fight against Beneil Dariush because his last fight was in 2023. I think it was January 2023 against Arman Tsarukyan, where he got knocked out. He got actually knocked out, like, viciously by a right straight by Arman, which was a clean KO. Honestly, the main events, if it's a really, like, quick finish, it's kind of anticlimactic, like, once it's all, like, rendered in. Like, you're up at 1 a.m. and you're just like, oh, it's a first round finish. But the fights are always cool, though, if it's a first round finish, because, you know, it's always like a title fight. But I'm picking Renato Moicano because he's a wrestler. Renato Moicano, he's a jiu-jitsu guy, honestly. But his wrestling is amazing. He knows how to take people down and how to hold them there. He's really heavy on top. And whenever he takes people down, he always holds them down. And I see Beneil Dariush getting it taken down here for the first 2 rounds, maybe even winning the 3rd round, Beneil Dariush. But I think Renato Moicano is going to win this by decision. So 29-28 or 30-27. So I got Renato Moicano by decision. I got Payton Tablet losing, probably by decision. And then also, what was the other fight? Joshua Van. Brandon Royval got pill hand, so maybe he might lose by decision, but it'll probably be a TKO, honestly. It might be a TKO. Maybe round 2 TKO by Brandon Royval. Next fight, though, co-main event. Alexander Pantoja versus Kai Kara-France. I'm picking Pantoja. He's already beat Kai Kara-France in the past in the Ultimate Fighter finale. I think it was a finale, or it might have been the semifinals. He beat him already. It doesn't really count as a fight because they're 2-round fights. So 2-round fights are expedition matches, so they don't count to your professional record. He did beat him in the past, though, and Kai Kara-France, he's really just like an overhand merchant. So I can see Alexander Pantoja taking him down and attempting to take him down, and Kai Kara-France defending, but Pantoja really only wanted to exchange so he can get that back. He's going to try to take you down, but he's not going to really try to take you down. He just wants you to lean forward so he can get your back. And that's what I think is going to happen. Round 2 submission by Alexander Pantoja. That's what I'm picking. Round 2 submission. Now we're going to the main event. What I want to talk about. Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira. This fight is a beautiful fight. Let me just glaze this real quick. This fight is a beautiful fight, and if Ilia Topuria wins this fight, it's going to look beautiful in his legacy. He's going to have Alexander Volkanovski, Max Holloway, Charles Oliveira back to back to back. That's fucking beautiful. If it was Islam Makhachev, that would have been even greater. But I don't even know if he would have won that fight. I think Islam probably would have beat Ilia Topuria. But Charles Oliveira, man, it just all depends how he fights. Even if he fights like either way, which I think he'll fight. I think either he'll fight patient, which will just give Ilia Topuria enough time to get into the fight and make some reads so he can knock out Charles Oliveira, or he goes in fucking like a bull, guns blazing, fucking trying to finish him in the first round, which I think is probably his best bet, honestly. Ilia Topuria, the last time he was in lightweight, he got knocked down by Jai Herbert by a head kick. I remember watching that fight, UFC London. That was a legendary card. Oh my god, that card was beautiful. I remember seeing him get knocked down, and this is the one of the main reasons why I started watching from the first fight to the last, or every single fight. That's what made me a hardcore fan, because I seen this undefeated prospect, and I'm like, okay, undefeated prospect. I'm like, okay, I got you. And then I see him get knocked down in the second round, and I'm like, this guy's done. He's gonna get knocked out, and then he comes back. He actually fucking comes back, takes him down, and then knocks him out in the 3rd round. That was one of the craziest fights I've ever seen, bro. We don't see fights like that anymore. But yeah, that was the last time he was in lightweight, and he got almost fraud checked by fucking Jai Herbert, malnourished man himself, who was really skinny for lightweight. So man, I can't really say this too confidently, but I think Ilia Topuria is gonna win. He's a big favorite too. I think he's like fucking minus 500 favorite, which is actually insane. Minus 500 favorite over Charles Oliveira. I might be wrong on this, but I think that's the last. I think that was the odds the last time I seen it. I'm picking Ilia Topuria by It would have to be by a TKO, man. I don't see this going to the fucking end round. I'm picking him by TKO. I'm picking him by second round TKO. I can see Ilia Topuria again backing down Charles Oliveira up against the fence, and then it looking like the Alexander Volkanovski fight. Oh my god, man. Either way, I'll be happy. Honestly, if Charles Oliveira wins, I'll kind of be less happy because Islam already beat him. But if Charles wins, bro, that's gonna be fucking beautiful. That's gonna be beautiful in my opinion. But I see Ilia Topuria knocking him out. And let's see if I'm right on these predictions, man. I'm going with Joshua Van, Renato Moicano, Felipe Lima, Pantoja, and Ilia Topuria. Let's see if I can go 5-0 for these predictions, man. I'm dropping this today. This is Thursday. I'm gonna drop this today. I don't know what kind of video I'll make tomorrow. I might just make a post-fight reaction. Who knows? This video is 10 minutes long. If you stay to the end, beautiful. Thank you so much. The Don has spoken, though.